Hey everybody, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. We're back at it again with another list of Fortnite Creepypastas for you guys. Let's just cut to the chase. With some of these, we return to previous Creepypasta authors who know how to craft up a good scare, and others are brand spanking new. And while all of them might not be totally terrifying, they sure are entertaining. So with that in mind, let's get to it. This is our Top 10 Scary Fortnite Creepypastas, Part 4. Starting us off in at number 10, Tomato Head's Revenge. We're starting off our list with a sequel to one of our previous creepypastas that we highlighted in a prior list by Fortnite Creepypasta King, Flipless Script, called Tomato Head Terror. Now for context, in that one, the Beef Boss took over all of Fortnite with his franchise, and killed Tomato Head in the process. As you can guess by the title, Tomato Head gets his revenge on Beef Boss, describing revenge as a dish best served cold. Of course. Now the story starts off by revealing that Beef Boss has had trouble since the destruction of Tomato Town. Tomato Head became a martyr, a god to the people, which spawned a cult. It got so bad that Beef Boss had to go into hiding, loading up on firearms to protect himself. He had dreams of being killed, with the Tomato God being his own personal Grim Reaper. The people of Greasy Grove decided to resurrect Tomato Head as Tomato God, and to do so needed a sacrifice. So who did they want? Well, Beef Boss, of course. They flooded his hideout that night, taking Beef Boss to the Tomato God temple, where they brutally sacrificed him, causing his blood to pour out, giving birth to the Tomato God. Now for more creepypastas like these, please check out Flipless Script's channel and check out his Patreon while you're at it. He's doing some really good stuff. Up next at 9, Glitch. This creepypasta comes from YouTuber Mr. Gruesome. The narrator, a 14-year-old in middle school, tells of how he was playing Fortnite one night when his family wasn't home. To start off the night, he began with some solos, landing in Retail Row in his first match. He opened up a chest, looted up, and that's when he spotted another player. Turning around, he was ready to shoot at them, but all of a sudden, the game glitched, and he was outside of the house that he was in, with the game informing him that he had one kill. Thinking that was odd, he continued to play. He left retail, and eventually found another player. He was about to shoot at them when the game glitched again. And where did he end up? Outside of the same house in Retail Row. Getting sick of this, he ended up leaving the match and started up a new one. Jumping out the battle bus, the game suddenly glitched, and he ended up outside that same house in Retail Row. Frustrated, he turned off his Xbox. He decided to get some fresh air, clear his head, so he went to go outside of his house. But in a blink of an eye, as he opened his front door, he realized that he wasn't stepping outside. He was back in his bedroom. He went to his front door again and bam, back in his room. He tried again and again and again and kept getting the same result. So he tried breaking a window to get outside, but as soon as he jumped out, the same thing happened. He then states that he's been stuck in his house for about 3 days now, and he hasn't seen his parents since. He can't get out of the house, and none of his technology works. He explains that he's recording this in hopes to explain to whoever finds it that he's stuck inside of a massive glitch. And at number 8, The Llama. This creepypasta comes from a channel called iTrolls Plays. It begins with a player walking through a dusty divot. Now out of nowhere, he spots a loot llama, sitting up on a tree just across from him. That's when he gets a strange feeling in real life. He just ignores it, and heads over to the llama, destroying the tree that it's on. After he chops it down and collects its resources, he can't see the llama anywhere. So he turns around, but surprise surprise, there it is. But something's off. Its eyes look at him, as if it can see him. He jumps back, shocked, and next thing he knows, the llama's gone. Trying not to think anything of it or assuming it was a glitch, he continues his way through the game, eventually getting to Moisty Mirrors. To his surprise, he stumbles across another llama, and its eyes move. It's gotta be the same one. That's when he hears something bone-chilling. He swears that it says to him, "Search me." Next thing he knows, an AR goes off and another player is attacking him. The two quickly get into a conflict, with the player quickly building a base for protection. He builds a box around himself, but then he turns around, and who's inside of the box with him? The llama. He hears the words, "Use me." Out of options, and with his opponent breaking through his defenses, he has no choice. He searches the llama, and that's when this happens. Yep. Gotta love a jump scare. And at 7, The Forever Game. This one comes from a YouTuber named Mr. Squidzle. The narrator tells of how he plays Fortnite for hours and hours. He describes how time is always a problem for him, and how he constantly wonders if he'll have enough time to sneak in another match, never knowing if he'll end up getting knocked out early, or if he'll make the long haul and do well. One time, on a day that he states was May 14th, he was playing a solo match, and having a pretty good game. He managed to make it to the top 5. He knocks out one player, and then he notices that another 3 are locked in an epic duel, which causes all of them to be eliminated. Now being the last of 2, he sees his final opponent approaching him out of the corner of his eye. Out of nowhere, a cold chill runs down his spine. He gets nervous, but he just chalks it up to, the anticipation of the game. He and his foe end up building quite high up into the sky as they avoid each other's firing. But that's when something odd happens. A bright hole opens up in the ground below his character. He falls in. He doesn't die, but everything around him goes pitch black. Not just in the game, but in real life. He thinks he's dreaming. The game comes back on. He can't shut off the game and he can't physically stand or move, so he plays. The match starts over and he's at Snobby Shores. He gets shot at and his character dies. That's when he gets a really bad headache in real life. The match starts over immediately. He starts to hear a voice repeating over and over again in a whisper, "That's not enough." So he continues to play. He wins matches, but they start over again. Fearing that this will never end, he eventually hears the voice say, "One last match." He dies in that match though, placing 8th. But then another one starts and the headache comes back. He starts to scream at the voice, but there's no response. The next match that starts is absurd. There's no map, no other players, just his character with a shotgun. He's inside of a house, but everything inside of it looks really strange. That's when he realizes that inside the house, it looks just like his own house in real life. He moves his character, and in real life, he hears steps from upstairs. Now in real life, he's in the basement, so he moves his character to the basement door of the house. The door opens in the game, and it opens in real life too. Next thing he knows, in the game he sees himself sitting in front of his TV. With his character, he approaches himself. He moves his character to the TV and shoots it. Now in real life, the TV explodes and everything goes white. He wakes up on the basement floor in what feels like hours later. He notices that his PlayStation has been blown to pieces and he even finds a shotgun shell under his couch. Everything seems fine though, but that's when he looks at his phone. The date is now November 27th. And at number 6, No Taunt, No Cry. This creepypasta follows the story of a player who strongly dislikes taunting and trolling. He says that nothing sucks more than being so close to defeating an opponent only to lose and have them do a dance emote over top of you. He tells of a monster in the game who kidnaps players who taunt others after they've killed them. He saw it happen in the flesh once. The player was sucked away by this monster with a notification that read that the player had disconnected from the game, and they were never to be seen again. Some think that this is Epic Games' way of trying to enforce some sort of disciplinary action. Others say that it's an evil entity within the game. The player describes how he was playing a squad match with his friends, and how one of his friends said that he shouldn't taunt others for fear of being banned. But one of his buds didn't care. He shot down some opponents and immediately started taunting them with an emote. That's when the player saw the monster. A rift opened up in the game, and a cage appeared, and when the monster caught his friend, he was thrown inside of the cage. They never heard from his friend again. Up next, number 5, Hyper-Realistic Fortnite. Another one from Mr. Gruesome at this number. So this story follows a player who hops on Fortnite one evening after getting home. Logging on, he begins a solo match. Playing as usual, he lands a dusty divot and starts to loot. He gets his first kill, but then he notices something odd in the distance. It's a default skin, except it didn't quite look like a default skin. Getting closer, he realized why it looked so odd. It was pretty realistic. He shot at it with his sniper, but rather than eliminating the player, something else happened. The bullet lodged into the player's skin, and he saw blood starting to pour out from the wound. Feeling nauseous, he exited out of the match, thinking that his imagination was playing tricks on him. Back in the main menu though, he noticed that his own skin started to look realistic too. Every single skin looked way more realistic than it should, and when he went to the default skin, it was bleeding. It wasn't his imagination. He turned off the game and shut off his Xbox. Thinking it was a horrible glitch, he just went to bed. But as he closed his eyes, he began to see the skins bleeding and had horrible nightmares. Moving on at number 4, the WUKONG. This one comes from a channel called Snipe2G, and it's a remake of another creepypasta. See if you guys can figure out which one it is from our previous lists. It follows a story of a player who gets excited when they see their favorite skin, the WUKONG, come back into the game shop. Finally having enough V-Bucks to afford it, he buys it and notices that it's not quite its usual color in its eyes. Instead, they're blood red. The player is concerned, so he decides to reach out to Epic Games, but they reply saying that there shouldn't be any glitches with that particular skin. After a quick Google search, he finds out that no one else has had this problem before, so he thinks nothing of it despite being a little confused. It's probably just a bug. He starts a match only to discover that with every kill, the WUKONG's eyes would gradually become less red. Deciding that getting more kills is the answer to getting WUKONG back to normal, he just grinds all night. When it's gone really late, he realizes that there's a strange noise coming from downstairs in real life inside of his house. It didn't sound like anything that he had heard before. So he calls his parents who weren't home, and they tell him not to worry because they're on their way back. But their arrival came too late. The player looked towards his bedroom door, and through the darkness in the hallway, he saw glowing red eyes. Thinking it was his dog, he was about to turn around and continue playing when he saw the owner of the eyes was moving slowly towards him in the shadows, coming into his room. That's when he realized it was the WUKONG, watching him from the hallway. He passed out, waking up sometime later in the hospital. The doctor told him that he shouldn't worry, and that his attending doctor, Dr. WUKONG, was on his way. Up next, number 3, the skin. This one comes from a YouTuber named Neo. His creepypasta season 0 we talked about on one of our previous Fortnite creepypastas lists. He's now got a follow-up to that one on his channel too, so definitely go check it out after this video. Anywho, the skin follows the story of a gamer who was really good at Fortnite, but stopped playing after an encounter with a mysterious skin. It was around season 4 when this occurrence happened. He noticed that a new skin was available in the store called the Consumer, which didn't have an image, just a gold background. When he got it, he noted that it looked looked like a default skin. But it was a progressive one, so he decided to give it a go regardless. When he showed it off to his friends, they said that he wasn't wearing a new skin, and they just assumed it was a glitch. As he played a match with it, he noticed that his skin was making weird noises whenever it was hit. As he continued to play, the skin went up a stage, and it had become reddish, eventually starting to mutate, growing boils on its arms. When people were knocked out by him, they would crawl on the ground and beg for mercy. None of his friends in the match could hear or see the things he was experiencing, though. They also couldn't see the consumer in the store. The next round, the consumer's skin had gotten worse, with its face split open like a fleshy flower. And the round after that, well, his character took control of itself, getting a slew of kills. He won the match, but the Victory Royale banner never appeared. That's when his friends started to notice that something was off with the skin. They could start to see its red fleshy body appear. It then said out loud, "I can't thank you enough for letting me out. I have achieved the Victory Royale, so now I must kill you." Then lunged towards the player's screen. The next few minutes was a battle for control, the skin versus the player. The player edged it closer to the edge of the mountain that they were on, and his friends started shooting at the character too. Eventually the character was knocked to the ground and died. Finally, the Victory Royale banner appeared. That's when one of his friends opened up the shop and said, "Hey guys, there's a new skin available. It's called the Consumer." Dun dun dun. Up next, number 2, the Dark Map. Here we have another one from Flipless Script. It follows the story of a YouTuber who is hungry for subscribers. He's going through his emails when he receives one from a strange email address. It's a bunch of numbers and letters. About to dump it into his junk mail, he sees that it contains something interesting. It's an image of a new Fortnite map that was supposed to be released on Halloween but was scrapped by Epic Games, allegedly. Thinking he could use this to his advantage and get more subscribers on his channel, he ends up taking this anonymous person up on their offer to check out this map and play it. The guy tells him that the experience that the YouTuber will have on the map will be different than what he has had. Thinking that that's odd, the YouTuber listens to the instructions that the guy gives him and turns the blur effect on his PC to optimize the gameplay. But when the map loads up, he sees why. It's strobing, and it puts him in almost a trance. It gets weirder. He starts to trip out and sees all these traumatic experiences that he had had in his life in the past. In a state of psychosis, he's hooked, watching as his father, a firefighter, died. And to his shock and horror, he's then put into his father's shoes and the same event replays. He drops into hell, and he sees himself burning down to bones. He then opens up the email to look at the map, and it's completely different than what he saw. He sees corpses of dead players making up mountains. A skin that he doesn't recognize with red horns that looks a lot like the devil begins to chase him. The YouTuber runs away as the devil skin tells him that he's the boogeyman, and that he'll see him in his dreams tonight. And finally, and at number 1, Stream Stalker. Let's end off this list with one final creepypasta from Flipless Script. In it, the narrator says that he streams a lot. He streams on YouTube instead of Twitch because he has a larger audience on there. And he's never revealed his real name, since he has a pretty decent following and didn't want to be annoyed on social media about streaming. So this one Friday night rolls around, and as he's playing, there's a guy who keeps spamming his chat, saying really rude stuff and harassing people. His moderators ban the guy. But shortly afterwards, the dude reappears, saying in the chat, "Hey, you can't ban me." The streamer then tells his mods to ban him already, getting annoyed. They claim they already did, and they go ahead and try to ban him again. The guy starts going off in the chat saying, "Tyler, you can't ban me." How did he know his first name? Now, thinking it was some guy with 2 accounts with a similar name, just trying to troll him, the streamer tells his mods to ban them again. A few minutes later, after things seem normal, the banned user appears once again. This time he says, "You're going to regret that, Tyler. Does Best Buy know that you call out sometimes to make content?" Tyler freaks out. How does he know where he works? The user then says, "Don't worry, Tyler," and states his address, saying that he'll see him soon. Tyler panics, ends his stream, and calls the police. The police say that there isn't anything they can do since the chat wasn't currently active after he ended the stream. So Tyler messages one of his mods and asks them to start up a new stream again so that they can get the police onto this guy. Tyler then goes around his house and double checks all of his locks. That's when he gets a message from his mod, who tells him to get out of his house right now. Tyler asks why, and the mod says to go to his channel and watch the stream. Tyler pulls it up. Someone else is streaming on his account that isn't his mod. The thumbnail is dark. He clicks on the video and sees that it's a stream of his house in real life. He can see himself through one of the windows. So Tyler turns off the lights, and then through his window he looks out. That's when he sees someone dressed up as the Raven. Then his narration ends, and it switches over to the voice of a police officer, who states that Tyler was stabbed repeatedly, along with a warning about being safe while you stream online. Alright, there we have it, friends. So that is a total of 40 Fortnite creepypastas that we've covered on the channel. That's a whole lot of creepypastas. Let us know in those comments below which ones were your favorites. If you dug this video, show us some love and hit that like button, and subscribe if you want more creepypastas just like this one. If you haven't seen them yet, check out our parts 1 through 3 for more Fortnite creepypastas too. We even have a playlist flashing on your screen right now that may tickle your fancy. In the meantime though, thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you all in our next video.